It doesn't seem like it was all that long ago that Aful, a relatively unknown company outside China, more or less broke the IEM market by introducing the Performer 5 to the world. A $219 advanced technology IEM with the performance of IEMs costing up to twice that. Many IEM aficionados were shocked. A few were delighted, maybe more than a few. And here we are just a few months later, and Simgot, another company that before this year was pretty much unknown in the West, has introduced a series of market-defying or market-defining or maybe market-redefining IEMs, one after the other, starting with the $80 AE500, a single dynamic driver, then a couple of less expensive single dynamics along the same lines, and now with the Phoenix, or EM6L, whatever that stands for. They have completely blown apart the under $200 hybrid IEM market. To put it simply, the Simgot Phoenix is every bit as good, every bit as satisfying sonically as, and even maybe a bit better than, the Aful Performer 5, at almost exactly half the price. It even shares the same basic design. One dynamic driver and 4 BAs. But the drivers are of such quality and the implementation so flawless that, despite not being as physically attractive or as distinctive as the Aful Performer 5, the Phoenixes steal the show. Who can ignore their sound? Who would not be delighted to pay $200 for these wonderfully clear, rich, and detailed IEMs, let alone $109? True, they are a bit understated. They have a semi-transparent resin body with no particular semi-custom fit moldings. Just a smooth plain shell that tucks well back into your ear, and a simple shiny black metal faceplate with their logo on one and the Phoenix symbol on the other. They have a budget-looking, if perfectly serviceable, QDC-type 2-pin connector sticking out. The included cable, while adequate, is nothing fancy, and neither are the included ear tips. But put these IEMs in your ears and give them enough power, and they are simply amazing. They do require power to sound their best. It's not a sensitivity issue. They don't take power to play loud. They take power to bring out the bass and to open up the treble, even at lower volumes. The difference between running these in regular and high gain mode is very noticeable. They're good with normal gain, but the extra reserves of power available in high gain mode simply bring them to life. The bass gains impact, not volume or quantity, but impact and quality. The treble opens out and the sparkles spark. The staging and detail both multiply. The Phoenixes need a deep fire to really shine. Again, we're not talking about high volumes here. I don't ever get my IEMs loud enough to cause even a hint of discomfort. But even at low volume, the high gain seems to make a real difference with the Phoenixes. When compared to other IEMs I have in the same price range, they have much more and better bass than the Letsure Galileos, and a smoother and more extended treble as well. The mid-range, vocals and instruments both, are just as fine and refined and as natural sounding as on the Galileo. The Phoenix have way better treble and much more air. The Kiwi Ears Quintet are a harder comparison. They're a very different IEM. To my ears, the Kiwi Ears Quartet are still a full, rich, fun sound, with deep, well-textured bass, excellent vocals and instruments, and decent treble and detail. Not everyone, I admit, hears them that way, but I do. The Phoenix is more balanced overall, and more natural sounding, with better timbre and detail. The Phoenix bass might not be quite as deep, but it is, perhaps, even more impactful and satisfying. I came really close in my review of the Kiwi Ears Quartet to saying I liked the Quartet better overall than the Aful Performer 5. Close. But I have no problem saying I like the Phoenix better than the Performer 5. And there it is. The Phoenix to my ears, and using the high gain setting on my headphone amp or digital audio player, has better bass with a more solid impact than the P5. It has cleaner, more open, more forward vocals and instruments, and more detail and sparkle, and it has smoother and more extended treble, with again, more air. Take a listen to Quattro, the first track on the Robert Plant Alison Krauss Raise the Roof album, to hear the balance of male and female vocals and instruments. Or, and I will not be able to say the name of either the artist or the track here, but you can see it here. Neither voice on this track is an easy voice to render, and the Phoenix does it right. And for a complex, more orchestral piece with lots of dynamics, try Timothy Crane's The Other Life I Dream, Redemption. On any music I listen to, I prefer the Phoenix over the P5. It's close, but when I have to pick between them, I always reach for the Phoenix these days, and the more I listen, the more impressed I become. The Phoenix is simply, to my ear, a more satisfying IEM, a more satisfying listen. And remember, we're comparing a $209 IEM to a $190 on sale, regular price, $219 IEM. On the other hand, the Phoenix don't have the refinement of the Aful Performer 8, that smooth, effortless, three-dimensional sound, nor do they have the really extraordinary and hard-to-describe something of the incredibly detailed Kiwi Ears Quintet. But the P8 is over 3 times the price of the Phoenix, and the Quintet is twice the price. The Simgot Phoenix, or EM6L, really sets, to my ear, a new standard for under $200 IEMs. This is the one, folks. This is the $100 IEM of your dreams. The one that might just spoil you for more expensive IEMs. It's a market breaker, it's a market disruptor, a market redefiner. It's the one to beat, until, of course, someone, probably another company we've barely heard of, beats it. Until then, if your budget runs to $109, go buy the Simgot Phoenix. You'll not be sorry.